you could actually log into your computer and watch these notes live. And I'll tell you, last year when I would do this first period, some students would come to my class and say, I already watched the notes.
What school did you work at?
The Career Academy.
That's where 11 to 12 grade.
Yeah.
My brother was in there with us.
I want you to go ahead and draw this picture as best as you can. I'm going to give you a protractor for borrows, which means what?
We give it back.
At some point you'll give it back.
I don't know. Oh, they did a baby food.
Go ahead and write down points, and then give yourself some space because we're going to define it. And then probably stop there.
They might have been good. Mine looks good.
Driving back and forth. Yes, there is.
You can use your protractor as a straight edge.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
No, this is my fault.
Does anybody know if you ask your teachers in AR if they let you work on homework? Because you have to do like all the different stuff now. No, you only get 15 minutes.
They have to use the program.
Oh my gosh. 10 to 15 minutes. You have to work on other stuff.
Part of what you have to work on is math.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that. Did they make it online?
Oh, you don't have.
So
Like
we'll talk about that. There's another program that the 7th and 8th graders are doing called iReady.
Oh my gosh.
And you guys will do it too. And the reason you guys are going to do it is because it's supposed to teach you ready for 9th grade, which is silly because you guys
Already past 9th grade.
are already past 9th grade. But how many of you told me today I skipped such and such grade, so therefore you missed something? You skipped 5th grade, then you didn't get any of that 8th grade stuff. So that iReady program is going to help you to learn that stuff. Okay? But when you're working on math, you might be working on the iReady, or you might be working on these assignments. Okay? And that'll be a discussion that I have with your AR. Okay? But you guys are kind of in a different boat.
Yeah, we have Miss Woman. Like I have Miss Woman.
But the expectation is that you're working in there, that you're not falling asleep or. Yeah. All right, so. Who feels like they know how to use a protractor really well? Can I still use a protractor?
You put it in the line and then you like spin it.
All right, so first off, never mind, not yet. Okay, so the protractor right now is just for straight edge. Don't let me not give this back to you, okay? All right, so somebody tell me what a point is. Yeah? Okay, a point is represented by a dot, okay?
It's like where a line is.
Okay, it could be an ending point, but what else is a point? Yeah?
A marked spot.
It's a spot, okay? We use the word location. Okay? So it's a dot, it's a location. So if I said, everybody go point up at the screen at the G, you would know where to go and point. That's a location. Okay? It's represented by a dot. Here's a weird fun thing I like. They say it has no size. What do you think they mean by it has no size?
Not really.
Okay, it's not really there, because if I were to zoom in on this G, okay, zoom way in, I could make the G this big, right? And where would G actually be in that dot? The center. And then I could say, oh, it's the center. And then I could zoom in way on the center. And where would it be? So you could keep doing that. And how big would the actual dot be? Super duper small, right? Crazy small. But if I were to actually draw G's dot that small, what would be the problem? Couldn't see it. Okay, good. So it's a dot, it's a location. So let's list all of the points. Give me a point. A. Give me another one. Which G? B, C, F. Okay, those are all points. What is a line? Now, every time we do a new definition today, I want you to use the words above it, if you can.
It's what's connecting to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's in between locations.
So all the answers I've heard so far are correct, but not the precise answer I'm looking for.
It has two,
Okay.
two or more.
Okay. How many points are on a line?
There's three on that big line.
Oh, I forgot to mark a point. Oh, and I forgot to mark another one. And I forgot to mark another one.
Oh, it has.
And I forgot to mark another one.
Infinite.
So what is a line?
An infinite force.
Okay, it's an infinite set of points. But what do they do? Where do they go? Both directions. How do I say both directions? If I say this way and that way, that's not a line. Both directions.
Straight. Horizontal.
My arms are pointed what?
Straight.
No.
Horizontally.
Opposite. Infinite set of points in opposite direction. Okay, so give me an example of a line. AB. So I write AB. How do I represent that it's a line? Anybody know?
Isn't it like equal and like?
So that's how I represent a line. What did I do? It's a line above it.
With 2 arrows at both ends.
With 2 arrows. So that's a line. Are there any other lines on this drawing? GF. Why is GF not a line? Because it only goes in one direction. My favorite band.
So would FG be a line?
FG is not a line.
I was thinking opposite.
Yeah. What about X and?
I mean, yes, you could say AX is a line. Technically, I could say line FG, but line FG is not written up there. Because why? Because F, it's stopping at F. See how it's stopping there? Okay. There's no arrow. I could extend F here and draw an arrow, and then I could say that that's a line. You could say, I could say line XG. It exists. I just didn't draw it. Okay, so if I said, oh, let's make a line XG on your paper, everyone hopefully would know those two locations and do that. I'm not saying do that, but we could. What's a ray? Yeah.
Infinite set of points going in one direction.
Yes. Again, my favorite band. Actually, I don't even think I could name a One Direction song. Baby, baby, baby.
This song.
I don't know. I assume they're all their songs have baby in it somewhere.
All the girls guys sing and start singing it.
I feel like I've seen it.
What rays are drawn on my paper?
No, wait, no, my bad. I like the A to B.
A to B.
Oh, no, it's the F to C.
Okay, F to C. How do you think I represent FC as a ray? Okay, you put a ray above it. Now it's important that you write it the right way. If I put that arrow the other direction, then I'm talking about I'm talking about CF ray, which is not drawn. What other rays are drawn on my paper? FG. What else? XG. You could. It's not drawn on my paper though, but you're right.
BC.
F to what? F to X? Sure. You could call that array, sure. Now, F to X is the same as what? F to A. I'm going to throw this symbol at you. Anybody know what that symbol is? Sure looks like a what? It looks like an equal sign, and it basically means it's congruent. Okay, congruent. It means they're the same. They're basically the same thing. Okay. One other one we didn't label. FB. And if I did, what is the other one? XA. Okay, and we could go on. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to write down CF, and that should offend you. Okay. Why is that offensive?
Yeah.
Because it's not going that direction. So I'm going to write it, and then I'm going to put a little X through it. You technically, we usually like the arrow to go that way. If you put it on a test, I wouldn't mark it wrong. Okay. Typically, we do it that way. Okay. Tomorrow. Just kidding. Okay. It's a quit. Oh, the beginning of the year. So what you're talking about? It's a quizzy poo. You don't get any resources on a test. So you can use each other on that quiz. You can get help from your friends. I might help you. Okay. What's that? Because I play drums and I just thought it was a fun decoration. Segment. What's a segment? Love it. It is part of a line. Or you could actually say it's part of a what? Part of a ray. Okay. Give me an example of a segment. XA, XF. There's going to be a ton of them, right? How do I represent that this is a segment? You actually don't put dots on it. You just put it like, you just put a little you put a segment above it, not a line.
What about C to F?
Say again?
C to F?
C to F, absolutely. There's a ton of these on this one, all right? We'll put one more down. FB. That's what they used to call me in college. Why is that funny? I'm not good.
That's good.
What does FB mean?
Sure. My dad made a bunch of jokes like that when I was in Michigan.
My wife says, okay. Anyways, angle. Using the words above it, using some of the words. What is an angle? Yep.
Between a line and a line or a ray in there.
Okay.
Like a line array.
What makes a what makes an angle?
Two points that,
Cut.
they don't intersect,
You're using the wrong words.
To go off the front dot.
two lines.
Two rays that what?
The 1
They
point.
don't intersect.
They share the same.
No.
What would you call that point? Give that point a better name. Vertex is the word, but they share the same. They share the same endpoint. Okay. Why am I saying endpoint?
Because it can't go that direction.
Okay. Good. So, angle is two rays that share the same endpoint. Okay? Because you could say two rays that share the same point would draw, and don't draw this because it's wrong, but two rays that share the same point could be this. Okay? And that makes 4 angles. But we want to, so give me an example of two rays that share the same endpoint. How do we write this? This has always been confusing to some people. I think you guys will grasp it pretty quickly, but yeah.
FB and FC.
Okay, so so FB and FC. You see which one she's talking about? Don't write this down. How do you say that angle that's created by FCFB? Angle CFB is congruent to angle. Is it on your paper? Oh, you can't see that. My bad. Is congruent to what? Is it, or is the same as what?
GFA.
GFC.
BFC.
Wait,
Why are they congruent? They're the same points, which is congruent to angle 3. Do you see how angle 3 is the same? That's how we can also represent points, or excuse me, angles.
Wait, what is that? Whoa, a 3?
That's a 3. So here's the trick one. Angle 1 is congruent to angle GFB, which is also congruent to angle BFG.
Oh, no, I see it. Angle, wait, what is that in the beginning? Angle
1.
The big color.
That's what I just said.
I'm not confused.
I didn't hear you.
You figured it out? Okay. Pause me for a second. Let's pause, because if that's confusing, then everything else is going to kind of build on it. Do we understand how angle 1 see how this arc goes through that ray? So that means it's this whole thing. So angle 1 is this GFB. So what's angle 2?
Oh, I know this, it's GFA and AFG.
Good.
Or GFX.
GFX.
I didn't give myself enough room. What's opposite rays?
Wait, how many more of those words do you have?
We have 2 more. I think there's 1 more on another page.
Opposite or equal?
Yeah.
I have these.
Yeah.
I'll probably do that.
These are your
Do
notes.
they have to be in order?
No, these are your notes.
You made it horizontal.
Do you need more paper?
What do you
Okay.
mean? Why, who would he do it like this? I'm not cheating.
Using the words above, or a word or multiple words, what is opposite rays?
Rays that don't go in the same direction.
Two different race spaces.
If they intersect. Rays that.
Yeah, they do intersect.
Oh, so what, could it be like GF and then D and then?
No. What's opposite mean? Yeah. So what did you,
Line?
it's a line.
Oh, I get it now.
FB
Oh.
and FB.
So
Yes.
Opposite rays a line.
AF and F. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That was way long.
I did something right for them.
Okay? Because ray FA and ray FB together is just line AB. So if I were to write that out, I could say FA plus FB is congruent to AB line. You agree? What's a plane? Right. Something you fly in.
Is it like an airline?
It's flat. Okay. Let's write that word down. Use a word above.
Flat opposite race.
Flat set of. True.
Line segments,
True.
Opposite race.
lines,
True.
points.
Points.
Good job.
All of the things that we've written, all the lines, rays, segments, angles, opposite rays, they're all made of what? Points. Okay. So a plane is just a flat set of points. When you teach geometry and you have people who don't understand planes, you say, here's an example of a plane in the classroom. And they say what? The floor. And someone says, oh, there's only one plane. And somebody else says, no, another example is the walls. How many planes, if I use the floor, the ceiling, and the walls, are in this room? 6. Okay. Planes do not stop. Okay. So you could think about the ceiling doesn't stop in this room. It goes on. It's every ceiling in this building, and it even goes further than that. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if I wanted to create a true plane, it would be the wall, or excuse me, the ceiling, and then Mr. Reed's ceiling. And then if I went ahead, I would build another ceiling outside of the building, and that would go on forever that way. And it would also go on forever this way, and forever that way, and forever that way. Well, it's above the earth, so it actually would go out into space.
flat, they would curve around the world.
If I truly built this plane, you might be able to walk on it to the moon. You had a helmet. You want to be safe.
It might just hit the moon.
And then if we go like out into space.
It's so weird how the world barely makes it like on such a slight angle, but all the wood still hurts.
Yeah.
When you don't realize it, when you're walking up.
Right.
Like right now we're on flat, so it's going to hurt a little bit more. It won't hurt.
All right. Let's do this last word. We spent a little bit of time today stressing over the online program. If we hadn't done that and jumped right into notes, we probably would have finished them today. So we'll finish them tomorrow. We'll be okay. We'll do this last word, postulate. Anyone know what this is? I don't expect you to. A postulate is a rule we agreed on. Okay? So a postulate, for example, we just agree that 3 plus 5 equals 8. We all agree on that. We could explain why, we could talk about it, but fundamentally, every now and then we have to just say, the reason it is just because it is. We just agree. Okay? If someone were to come in and say 3 plus 5 is really 9, we would all disagree with it. Okay? We would say, so a postulate is just a rule we agree on. Okay? We're about halfway through these. If you want to take a stab at and just peek around and jump around in the thing tonight, you can. Again, I don't want you to feel crazy pressure about it. Okay? I'm going to give you a good chunk of time tomorrow, and we'll get through this. Don't stress.
All right. 3 times 2 equals 5, okay?
3 times 2
is 5.
Okay.
All right.
I'm glad we agree. You can take your protractor with you as long as you don't lose it.
I should.
If you want to leave it here, you can put it up here. If you want to leave it, it can go right here. Johnny, I have yours. You don't really need it tonight. I think the bell rang. Does that mean you have to leave?
Yeah. My for tonight until Tuesday or whatever. Yeah, Tuesday.
In the orange bin right there, if you want to keep here.
Is to finish the notes. Do those questions.
That's going to be due Sunday. I think that's right now.
Yeah, Sunday.
How? Wait, how am I?
Hey, let's have it be due next Sunday.
Really?
Yes.
For real? Yeah, because I won't have Wi-Fi the whole time. I'll be out of ski
Okay.
for a long time.
But in the future, it'll be due that Sunday.
Alright, yeah. Like I can do that, but just not.
Okay.